is kind of famous that overruns are being paid by the client. And for us, that feels like, oh, this is like heaven. Usually as a supplier, we will not get extra money. So that puts a lot of pressure on the project manager. What that also gives is that there is very often conflict during the project, because the project manager needs to be very, very keen on every kind of scope creep of everything that happens that is not protecting his interest. And his interest is not to overrun budget, because it will be directly put on his plate. So his organization will be very strict on the project manager if he doesn't stay within budget. It's going to cost a lot of money to the company. So there is very often we like to do fixed projects, fixed price projects, but that usually is not a nice project to run. It will definitely create conflict during the project, and it's very often, to make it affordable, the project manager will take shortcuts that are not in the best interest of the client, but in his best interest. And this is why I believe that the Japanese way of doing projects, where they kind of take a shared responsibility and say, okay, well, this is in your best interest, so I'm going to follow you, that leads to a lot more cost overruns. But if you look at the result, what is in the best interest of the client, I believe that you often will get better results.
I think this is we need to many Japanese people. I was working with an American company. I know that, but many Japanese people, they do not know that European style.
Right. If you don't know that, and if you expect that you can just send a bill to your customer, forget it.
No. It's of course both sides is precise negotiation, but negotiation style and the content of how much money we're going to ask for them is different. Right?
Right. It is different. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I chose negotiation as an example, because I think there is a lot of things in there that we can take out that is actually, and everything is negotiation. Even a regular sale is negotiation between buyer and seller. But we don't have to do it that way. I mean, we can also add other things to the portfolio. It's just an example of how it can work. What a workshop would look like, because I think this workshop is put together in a way that it looks good, it looks well thought out, and it's kind of complete, and it gives you immediate business benefit because everybody engages in negotiation. It's important, and it's important to know what to expect and what kind of negotiation tricks there are in foreign countries, and how you can be persuasive, and how you need to highlight your interests versus your position. And these are things that are on the mindset of every foreign negotiator, maybe not in Japan. So it's creating a kind of awareness that is immediately applicable to your daily business. But let's see. Let's try to listen as much as we can Monday and Tuesday.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay, we just conclude.
Okay, so going back, so there are lots of gaps that we need to overcome. So we have so we were talking about religion and Confucianism. I think they have a lot in common.
Yes.
Moral value, but we have a kind of a dualism between religion and philosophy. Philosophy puts a lot of that's basically following the rules of logic, of abstract thinking, of very strict following logical steps, deduction, induction, and coming to a conclusion. It doesn't matter what the conclusion is, as long as it is logically consistent. You can derive at any conclusion. You need to dare to go anywhere. It doesn't ask any moral questions. It asks only why are things the way that they are, and these very existentialist questions, the way of reasoning and questioning is something that is not exactly in line with religion. So that is there's a very strong pillar. It's actually a two-pillar society in Europe: philosophy and religion. Whereas in Japan, I think what binds Japanese people, they are more comfortable with the religious way that we experience religion. So that is a difference, especially the philosophy. So the argumentation, the rule of logic, the abstract thinking, versus the holistic way of thinking, and not argumentation, but consensus. Trying to see, are we on the same page? Are we still on the same page? Do we think the same thing? So trying to find consensus, and basically debating, trying to find the truth, or at least trying to find the truth means that basically trying to see, do we understand the same thing? Not by carefully listening to what the other side has to say and agreeing to that, but by actually disagreeing and trying to clarify what somebody's position is. So that could be if you are, especially in a negotiation circumstance or in a sales circumstance, if you are constantly being challenged in a language that is not yours, that you're not so comfortable with, constantly being challenged, asking to give your opinion, not your company's opinion, but your opinion, that can be very challenging for a Japanese business person. But this is common sense for a European. So if the Japanese business person is not capable of formulating his opinion, or is not even prepared to share his opinion, but is referring to his organization, it will be very difficult to gain trust from his counterpart, from his European counterpart. He will think, oh, this person has nothing to say. Maybe he's not so intelligent, or he's not so he's not being sincere.